So yes, I do basically communication with horses. It's called quarantine therapy. But literally after like 45 minutes, you know, you're talking to a fucking horse. But it honestly is a different reflection. I feel like my reflection with people is not very clear. And I think it's almost like I need to break through a wall or make contact. And I know it's an old story, but the psychological damage and not having real contact in that place, and, you know, 8 hours of just like communicating by just sitting in a chair and their big smiles and asking me questions and studying me. It's just like, I couldn't come out of my seat, and I wanted to get the fuck out of there. I mean, Jesus Christ, how come by law these people can just like do this and make me think, and not just, most people would say I'd like to be asked questions like that, but no, it was more of like, we're studying you. Like I was a science lab, or like, you know, and I'm saying this because God knows I'm not perfect, and you know, I'm taking each day at a time. But yeah, I used to have my kids at one point way more than Kevin. I mean, people don't remember that part because they always focus on the negative, but from when they were 6 to 9 years old, I had them 70% of the time. And of course, since they've been gone, I've honestly felt like a huge part of me has died. Like literally I have no purpose anymore. They were my joy. They were my everything. I look forward to seeing them. That was what I lived for. And then all of a sudden they were gone. And I was like, did my heart just stop beating? And honestly, I don't understand how it's so easy for them just to cut me off like that. I don't understand it. And okay, so I woke up this morning and I honestly feel like I just have a lot to say and I have a lot to share with. Yes, I do have a therapy guy that I talk to, but he's only available certain times of the week, and usually once a week. And I think in my head, it's really crucial for me to feel like I can share. And if it's the dumbest thing in the world that I do is share on my Instagram, my thoughts, if it's dumb, so be it, because I honestly feel like it helps me. Like 3 years ago, I used to do AA meetings. I was never able to miss any meetings. Most of the girls would choose their meetings, and sometimes they go and sometimes they wouldn't. But the way my dad made it for me, I had to go no matter what. I couldn't miss any meetings, and I couldn't even choose the meetings I went to. So it felt forced. So I haven't been back in a really long time. Number one, because when you're forced to do something, it's kind of like, you kind of don't want to go back there and do it. But I secretly did like going. I liked hearing the people's stories. But the problem was I had hours and hours of week where I just sat there in silence. They were always like, do you want to speak? Do you want to speak? And I never got up to speak because I perform and stuff. But my heart, I'm very introverted and shy. If you told me to get a microphone and get up and talk, I would literally probably crawl in a hole and cry. So I obviously have a lot going on in my brain of just like being in a recluse and being shy and not being able to open up. So this morning I woke up and honestly I just had a couple of things I wanted to say. So I'm showing 2 pictures right now. I'm reflecting back, probably this is a month ago, at me in my gym in my garage. I literally have to force myself to get the hell out of my head and breathe and literally look at my hands, close them together and look up and say, okay, am I praying right now? And it's like my hands just kind of do it for me. I don't even have to think about it. I'm like, what am I doing? Are my hands trying to tell me something? And my husband believes in universal power. There's a higher power we can connect to. I was born Baptist and my mother is Catholic, and I've practiced Judaism when I was younger. I actually had a rabbi come and visit me a couple of times a month when I went through a huge breakup a really long time ago because I needed help spiritually. He'd visit me on tours and things, and it did really help me out. But when I got married, it all stopped. I had children and my whole focus was on my children, of course. I loved it though. They were my world, you know, my focus, my everything. I believed, honestly, the huge fact of just a miracle, the fact that a body and a woman could produce such a miracle. That in of itself was my belief and my purpose. So before I just crashed my car. Oops. I really did it this time.